This is a quick video to explain why I haven't quite made a 7700X video yet, a review video. Normally by this point I would have tried to buy one and I would have tried to give you some star citizen numbers. I would have tried to explain what is going on and whether the 7700 is worth buying. But as I'll try and explain here, as I do this, I'll try and show you why that hasn't happened quite yet. So first of all, the CPU itself is pretty expensive. So we come over here to the 7000 series. So it's expensive. AMD have upped their prices anyway. So that's the thing. We'll add that to the basket. That's fine. We won't check out yet. The main issue really isn't just the CPU itself. The main issue is, if any of you have looked into this, may have found out yourselves, is that the motherboards are extortionate. There are these E models, which are kind of the top end ones, which I think guarantee that you'll hit certain clock speeds and things like that. They've maybe got more PCIe lanes and things like that. But then we've also got just normal, not the non-E models. But when you price these from low to high, we've got now one that is just dipped under £300. That is an outrageous amount of money for a motherboard, and so there are just no lower end motherboards available for these new CPUs at all. The B650 models are in theory coming in this month in October, and I don't mind going for those models. I think you normally lose PCIe lanes again. You sometimes lose just different connectivity as well with those. But in general, the performance you can get for them is pretty much the same as the higher models. And I'm just refusing to spend that much money, to spend £300 upwards. I mean, look at the price of some of these high-end ones. I mean, fair enough, you can get one. Oh, here we go, we've got one that's £290, lovely. But yes, there might be some worth in spending £900 on a motherboard, but for me, I really don't want to spend more than £150, and for me this is just no good at all. But for now, we'll add that to the board. We're at £740, and then the next thing obviously we will need with this is some more RAM. Now I did have some DDR5 when I did some Alder Lake testing originally, but I sold that, and I sold the DDR5 motherboard. I had a DDR5 and a DDR4 motherboard for that Alder Lake 12700KF, and so I got rid of that. It was so expensive, and it had to come down in price. And this is okay. This is not bad. Okay, that's fine. £150. We'll do this low to high as well. DDR5, from the testing I've done before, will increase performance over DDR4. And obviously with Ryzen, the new Ryzen chips, you have to have DDR5. It's not like Alder Lake where you can have a bit of both. You can have motherboards for 4 and for 5. But you probably, and AMD themselves are saying that you want to have it running at 6000 megahertz or whatever it is. But in order to do that, you will have to spend quite a lot of money. So these are in the 64 gigabyte territory. This is the highest end 32 gigabyte from Scan. It's not the only website, but they don't seem to have really any high end. They're all kind of clocking out at 5200, which isn't going to be as big an increase. And actually, if you're spending this much money, you probably want something that's towards the 6000 range. So, but for the sake of it, we'll whack that in the basket. We are at £900 nearly. If you convert that into dollars or euros, it's a lot of money, and I don't mind paying for the RAM. That's fine. I know that that's going to be more expensive, but the main thing is the motherboards are just outrageous, and so I'm basically going to be waiting until I can get a reasonably priced motherboard. I'm not paying £300 for a motherboard for a chip that I don't actually think is going to beat the 5800X3D. If you've looked at some of the reviews from some of the big kind of YouTube tech channels, you'll see that in games where the 5800X3D was ahead of everything else, the new chips from AMD are not beating the 5800X3D. So and we know Star Citizen is probably like the perfect example of that. It absolutely crushes everything else, the 5800X3D. And so my suspicions before anything was released was that the new chips just won't be able to match it in Star Citizen, and that's kind of what I see from the reviews. But I will test it eventually, but I'm just not blowing too much money I mean, I'm already blowing lots of money, but I don't want to blow all my money. But the only thing that I would say this is slightly worrying as well for is that my hope was to pick up one of the new NVIDIA. Ideally, I was going to get the 4080. NVIDIA then came out with the prices, and then I was like, oh, hang on a minute, this is crazy. And it makes the 4090 look like a good deal, which is probably what they're trying to do. I don't really want to buy a 4090. In fact, there's no way I'm doing that. That's just not going to happen. My hope was that AMD, when they release their new GPUs, they would be a bit more reasonably priced. But the way that AMD have priced their CPUs suggests that just in general, we're going to have to accept that prices of technology and everything in the world, thanks to lots of pesky things that are happening around the world and terrible things that are happening around the world, everything has gone up. And all of this is slightly exacerbated by the fact that the UK economy, the pound is doing terribly at the moment. And so it's just costing way too much money. So my hope was that the AMD GPUs would be reasonably priced, and maybe I would then instead pick up a 7800 XT or whatever it would be. But my fear is going to be, they're released, I think the information for that is going to be released at the start of November. My fear is that they're also going to be priced towards the £1,000 mark, hopefully not over, but we'll see. It's a great opportunity for AMD to undercut NVIDIA significantly and get a lot of business, but we will see. But anyway, very quick video. It's probably not that quick now, is it? 6 minutes? No, not that quick. But that's just to explain, though the review is coming, it's just I'm refusing to pay crazy amounts for motherboards. That will definitely drop in price as time goes on, and the B650 motherboards will be perfectly fine and good for testing. So there you go. Feel free to subscribe if you like this sort of technical look at Star Citizen. Like the video, become a member if you want to give me loads of money every month. Not loads of money, but a little bit. I probably should set up some sort of tip jar, shouldn't I, so that you can all donate thousands of pounds to help with this, but I feel that's a bit, I don't feel that comfortable about doing that. But anyway, thank you for watching. See you soon. Bye.